Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching this from. This is Cornelius Lubinda with another video. And in this video, we are attempting to answer the 2025 Additional Mathematics Paper 2 internal, written on Tuesday, 18th November. Okay. This is issued by the Examinations Council of Zambia. And additional materials for this exam was a silent electronic calculator. The time given for paper 2 is always 2 hours 30 minutes. Then you have those instructions to candidates. Make sure you read them, and then you have information to candidates. Make sure you also read that. Then they are saying this question paper consists of 22 printed pages. Make sure to write your examination number on all the spaces given in the answer sheet. Okay. Then, if you don't have the 2025 paper 2 internal and the 2025 paper 1 internal, I am going to provide a link in the description below so that you can check it out. So it's going to be a PDF document. This is the mathematical formulae, the formula oversheet for algebra, series, trigonometry, and statistics. Then we have our question paper, and it starts by saying answer all questions in this question paper. Write your answers in the spaces provided after each question. This is your question 1, solving an equation in 3 variables carrying 6 marks. Then they say solve the following systems of equations. Now, I am going to use a substitution method. What is a substitution method? I'm either going to make the Q or the R subject of the formula. Why am I doing this? Because the P, as you can see, can be difficult to make subject of the formula in any of the equations. So in this equation here, I'm going to choose, for example here, I'm going to choose R, and I'm going to make R subject of the formula in equation 2. And then I'm going to substitute R in equation 1 to form equation 4, and then in equation 3 to form equation 5. That is what I'm going to do. Okay, so let's get on with the answering. We'll start with the statement saying let R be equal to 2p plus 3q plus 13 in equation 1. So 4p minus q plus 2r. 4p minus q plus 2. R is the 2p plus 3q plus 13 is equal to, so this is your equation 1, is equal to 10. So we are going to write 4p minus q plus 4p plus 6q plus 26 is equal to 10. To continue, it's going to become 4p. So here we are now grouping like terms, plus 4p, okay, minus q plus 6q is equal to 10 minus 26. If you simplify, it's going to give you 8p, okay, minus, 8p plus 5q is equal to a negative 16 as your equation 4. So 8p plus 5q is equal to negative 16 as your equation 4. You write the statement again. Let R be equal to 2p plus 3q plus 13, this time in equation 3. So if we do that in our equation 3, we're going to have 6p plus 2q plus 3r. So 6p plus 2q plus 3, r is a 2p plus 3q plus 13 is equal to 1. This is our equation 3. So we are going to distribute the 3 in this bracket. It's going to become 6p plus 2q plus 6p plus 9q plus 39 is equal to 1. 6p plus 6p plus 2q plus 9q is equal to 1 minus 39. It's going to become a 12p plus 11q is equal to negative 38. Okay, so 12p plus 11q is equal to negative 38. You have your equation 5 will be this. So this that we have formed is our equation 5. Okay, let me clean up here. So this is your equation 4, then this is your equation 5. 12p plus 11q is equal to negative 38, then 8p plus 5q is equal to negative 16. Then to continue, you are just going to clean up. So we'll clean up. What I'm going to do, I'm going to solve equation 4 and 5 simultaneously. So we have 8p, let's zoom in more, 8p plus 5q is equal to negative 16. The second equation is 12p plus 11q is equal to negative 38. Then to solve this, I'm going to choose to eliminate the p. So the top I'll multiply by negative 12, down I'll multiply by positive 8. This is going to become negative 12 times positive 8. It's going to give us negative 96. Negative 96p. Negative 12 times 5. We're going to have a negative 60. Q is equal to negative 16 times times negative 12 is going to give you positive 192. Then down you're going to have a positive 96 p, then plus 88 q is equal to negative 38 times 8 is 304. To continue, we are going to add, and then this addition is going to cancel out the p's, leaving us with a 28 q. 28 q is equal to, so you have 28 q is equal to what? If you look very closely, we had a negative 16 here, and then here we had a negative 38. So here there's supposed to be a negative sign there. So 192 minus 308 is going to give you a negative 116. So it's got to negative 116. Then you divide by 28, divide by 28. 28 between itself is a 1, 28 between itself is a 1. If you divide negative 116 by 28, you're going to have If you type that nicely into your calculator, so you have 192 minus 304. Oh, 192 minus 304 is actually 112. Please take note. I'll just verifying what I typed into my calculator. It's actually 112. So 112, and it's negative because they're saying 192 minus 304. So 28 into itself 1 into negative 112, which is 20. You're going to have a negative 4. Q is equal to a negative 4. After you find your Q, you are going to now say let Q be equal to negative 4 in equation 4. So it's going to be 8p plus a 5 multiplied by a negative 4 is equal to negative 16, because that is your equation 4, as you can see there. So I've removed it, I've cleaned out. Then to continue, it's going to become 8p minus 20 is equal to 8p minus 20 is equal to negative 16, like that. And then to continue, it's going to become 8p is equal to negative 16 plus 20. 8p is equal to a positive 4. If you divide both sides by 8, divide by 8. 8 can go into itself 1, into itself 1. So here, 4 can go into itself 1 into 8 to 2. So p will be equal to 1 over 2. And we found our q to be equal to negative 4. So that's what we have done right there. Then we clean up now, since we now know the solutions needed. We'll say let p be equal to 1 over 2, q be equal to negative 4 in R. So R is equal to 2 multiplied by p, which is a half, plus a 3 multiplied by q, which is negative 4, plus 13. Then it's going to become is equal to 2. Okay, let me just simplify here. So 2 can go into itself 1 into 2, it's going to give you 1. So 1 plus yes, 1 minus 3 multiplied by 4 is 12, then plus 13. Then if you simplify nicely here, negative 12 plus 13 is going to give you positive 1, so it's going to give you 1 plus 1. R is equal to 1 plus 1, which is equal to 2. R is equal to 2. To conclude, therefore, P is equal to 1 over 2. Q is equal to negative 4. R is equal to 2 as your final answer. Then we'll go to question 2, which says find the range of values of p for which 2p squared plus a 5p minus 3 is less than 0. This is what we call a quadratic inequality. So what we are going to say, we are going to write it again. So it's going to become 2p squared plus 5p minus 3 is less than 0. Now, instead of writing the inequality, we're going to replace this inequality. Let me say that inequality there with an equal sign. So it's going to be 2p squared plus a 5p minus 3 is equal to 0. We solve this quadratic equation by using factorization. So the product is a negative 6, the sum is a positive 5. Which two numbers when you multiply give you negative 6, when you add give you positive 5? That will simply be a positive 6 and a negative 1. So it's going to be 2p squared plus 6p minus p minus 3 is equal to 0. We factorize by grouping, we factorize that part. So we factorize as far as 6p and then we factorize those two like that. Using lines, it's better like that. So you're going to say 2p, you multiply by a p plus a 3. You factor out a negative 1, you're going to have a p plus a 3 is equal to 0. So a p plus a 3 multiplied by a 2p minus 1 is equal to 0. I hope you have seen the stage where we have reached. So we're going to say p plus a 3 is equal to 0, or 2p minus, 2p plus a 1 is equal to 0. Right? It's actually minus 1. So p plus 3 is equal to 0, or 2p minus 1 is equal to 0. 2p is going to be equal to positive 1. Divide both sides by 2. 2 can go into itself 1, into itself 1. So if you clean up, you are going to have your answer as p is equal to negative 3, or p is equal to 1 over 2. So what we have found, these are critical points. Okay, this is what we call critical points. Then we're going to graph these critical points in this manner. So the negative 3 will be here, and then the 1/2 will be there. What have I done? So using these critical points, I've created 3 regions. The 3 regions are this part, which is less than negative 3, this part between negative 3 and positive 1/2, and then this part which is greater than 1/2. So I've created how many? 3 regions separated by this line. So this line represents the 2 critical points. I hope you can see the regions. I've just thickened those lines. So those are the 3 regions created by the 2 critical points. Now we need to start thinking. Okay, so we have successfully found the correct answers. What do we do next? What we are going to do is we are going to find answers which satisfy this inequality using those 3 regions. So this part that is red right here, it represents values of p that are less than negative 3. So let's try putting a negative 4 where there is p. So you are going to say a 2 multiplied by a negative 4 squared plus a 5 multiplied by a negative 4 minus 3 is less than 0. So it's going to become a 2 multiplied by a negative 4 squared is a positive 16 minus 20 minus 3 is less than 0. If you clean up nicely here, you are going to have a 32 minus 20 minus 3 is less than 0. 32 minus 20 is a 12. 12 minus 3 is a 9. 9 is less than 0. Is this inequality correct? No. So it means this region is not the wanted region, because we wanted a number that satisfies, wanted an answer that satisfies the inequality, but 9 is not less than 0. So all the values that you would plug in would give you a positive answer, and the positive answer is not less than 0. Then you would just clean up like that. So you try plugging in a number between, now we're going to this region here, a number between -3 and +1/2 is 0. That's the simplest number you can get. So it will be 2 multiplied by a 0 squared plus a 5 multiplied by a 0 minus 3 is less than 0. So it's going to be -3 is less than 0. Is that true? Yes. So this inequality, that region is okay. That region satisfies the inequality. Then we are going to the third region, which is this region here, the region greater than half. What do? What you do is this. You are going to say which numbers are greater than half. That's +1/2. It is +1. So we're going to say 2 multiplied by +1 squared plus a 5 multiplied by +1 minus 3 is less than 0. So we're going to say 2 plus a 5 minus 3 is less than 0. Then to continue, it's going to become a 2 plus a 5 is a 7 minus 3 is a +4 is less than 0. Now, is this inequality correct? Does it satisfy? Or if you just think of it, is +4 less than 0? No. So that region does not satisfy this inequality, so it's also an X. Then to continue, you are going to conclude and say, therefore the range is -3 is less than x and x is less than 1/2 as your final answer. So people often get confused. What would you have done if the region was this part that is red and that part that is green? This is what you would have done. You would have said, since you're saying the part that is red and the part that is green, the range would have been written like this. Since the part that is red represents values, even the final answer, I put x actually. This is P. We are considering P, okay? So, -3 is less than P and P is less than 1/2. What you would have done is, since the values that side are less than P, so you would have said P is less than -3, comma, P is greater than 1/2, because in the red region there, it represents values less than -3, and then in the green region, it represents values greater than half. That's how it would have been written if you are asked and then you found answers while you ticked the green and the red region. So that's how it would have looked. Okay, so to continue, we go to question B, which says express 5 plus a 3x minus 4x squared in the form, where a, b, and c are constants. This is carrying 4 marks. So what you have to know about this is solving by completing the square. So you first write it in your own ink. So it's going to become 5 plus 3x minus 4x squared. Then the next step is to write it in the standard form. In the standard form, you're going to say it's equal to -4x squared plus 3x plus 5. And then you group the the ones having x together, so it's going to be negative 4x squared plus 3x. Then the 5 will be outside the brackets. Then you make sure that the x squared, the one having x squared, is factored out. If there's a number in front of x squared, or if there's a sign in front of x squared, you factor it out. So it's going to become negative 4 multiplied by positive x squared minus a 3 over 4x plus a 5. It's going to become is equal to negative 4, then x squared minus 3 over 4x. Negative 3 over 4 is the b, so you're going to half. So it means negative 3 over 4 you multiply by a 1 over 2, it's the same as dividing by 2. You're going to have a negative 3 over 8. Then if you square it, you're going to have is equal to a 9 over 64. I hope you're following. I hope I haven't lost you, please. So plus a 9 over 64 minus 9 over 64 plus a 5. People usually overthink. They'll be like, can't you simplify this and it gives you 0? Don't simplify it as of now. We'll use something. Instead of simplifying the way it's looking here, we're going to do something else. So we're going to say it's equal to negative 4 multiplied by x squared minus 3 over 4x plus a 9 over 64. Then if you remove this out of the brackets, okay, we only remain with this one that is positive. You remove that one out of the brackets, it's going to become plus 5. But it just can't come out of the brackets the way it's looking, because the negative 4 is going to affect it. So I'm going to say 4 into 64 is a 16. And then the negative 4, the sign in front of the negative 4 there, multiplied by the sign in front of the 9 over 64 is going to have a positive. So a positive 9 over 16. Like that. 4 can go into 64 16 times. Then I'm going to say is equal to a negative 4 multiplied by x squared minus 3 over 4x plus a 9 over 64 plus 5 is the same as 80 over 16 plus a 9 over 16. So I'm going to say is equal to negative 4 multiplied by x squared minus 3 over 4x plus a 9 over 64, okay, then plus 89 over 16 after simplifying what we are left with here. The next step is you take the square root of x squared and the square root of 9 over 64, and then you get the sign here. It's going to become negative 4 multiplied by x minus square root of 9 is a 3, square root of 64 is 8, minus 3 over 8 squared plus 89 over 16. You check the form that they wanted, so you are going to say your a multiplied by x plus a b squared plus c is equal to a negative 4 multiplied by x minus 3 over 8 squared plus 89 over 16. So this is your final answer, and you have got your 3 marks right there. So the first part of the question, about 3 marks right there. And then the first part of the question, they wanted us to express in that form, and then they say, hence find the maximum value of that. The maximum value is simply the value of y, and the good part is that when you solve by completing the square, okay, what we find here, what we leave here, this part here, is the value that they're looking for. That is the maximum value. Therefore, maximum value is equal to 89 over 16. When you simplify it nicely, you are going to have a 5 remainder 9 over 16. 5 remainder 9 over 16. This is your maximum value. Then we go to our question 3, which is a logarithmic equation. So I'm going to show you 2 methods, and I'm going to show you the mistake that a lot of people made in the 2025 paper. This question is carrying about 3 marks. What we are going to say, we're going to write it in a different form. So it's going to become 3 times e to the power 2x is equal to a 4.2. After that, we divide both sides by a 3. We divide both sides by a 3. 3 can go into itself 1. Into 3, it's also a 1. So you are going to have e to the 2x is equal to 1.4. If you divide 4.2 by 3, you are going to have 1.4. Then we apply ln of e. We apply ln to both sides of the equation. So ln of e to the power 2x is equal to ln of 1.4. ln just simply means the natural logarithm. Then we use the power rule. We are going to drop the power. It's going to become 2x. ln of e is equal to ln of 1.4. So remember that ln is being raised to is actually in base e, but we don't write this base right here. Just like ln, just like log rather, there is base 10, but we don't need to write this base 10 like that. So when you reach this stage, ln of e, okay, ln of e is going to give you 1. Why? It simply means you are saying here there's a base e here, the invisible base e. To which power must this base e be raised to give us this number there? So to which power should e be raised to give you e? It should be raised to power 1. Anything to the power 1 is just the same thing. That's why ln of e is equal to a 1. So ln of e is a 1. 2x is equal to ln of 1.4. And divide by 2. Divide by 2. X is equal to, correct to 3 significant figures. ln of 1.4 you say is equal to, on your calculator, then you divide by 2, you're going to have a 0.168 as your final answer for x. And then the second method is the method that is going to give you a rounded off answer, which is 3e to the power 2x is equal to 4.2. What people did is they got this 3, then they made it a power there. So what they did is they said e to the 2x times a 3, because that's the power rule. Okay, then you're going to say e to the 2x times 3 is e to the 6x if you simplify those indices. is equal to 4.2. And then the person would just come to say ln of e to the power 6x is equal to ln of 4.2. We are going to say 6x ln e is equal to ln 4.2. ln e will cancel out. 6x is equal to ln 4.2. We divide by 6, divide by 6. X is equal to ln 4.2 divided by 6. So ln of 4.2 is that answer. Then you divide by 6. It's going to give you a 0.239 as your answer there. So let's prove these answers because it has given us a deviation in the answers, a very large deviation. So our first answer is 0.168. If you type that into your calculator, 3, then you click alpha e to the power 2 times x to 0.168, that is corrected to 3 significant figures, is going to give you 4.198. And if you round that off, it's going to give you 4.2. So this satisfies what we found. Now, the second answer was x is equal to 0.239. So 3 multiplied by alpha e power 2 times 0.239, you are going to have a 4.884, which is a very large deviation. So as a result of this very large deviation, you would have found the wrong answer. So the final answer was this. 0.168 was the final answer right there. Then we can just clean up here. So the final answer was a 0.168. I'm cleaning up because we are going to the next question. Next question is carrying 4 marks. So the first step that you always do is you write the logarithmic equation in your own ink. So it's going to become log 2x squared plus log x is equal to log of 32 minus log of x. So you get everything having log, and then you take it to one side of the equation to be log of 2x squared plus log of x, then minus log of 32, then plus log of x. You're going to say is equal to 0. To continue, you start using log properties. So we are going to say log, okay, and then we open a bracket like that. Wherever you can see a positive sign in front of the log, for example here there's a positive sign, we know that from our algebra. So wherever you can see a positive sign in front of the log, you're going to multiply the logs. So you're going to have 2x squared multiplied by x there, so times x, then multiplied by another x there times x. So that's it. Then wherever I can see a minus sign on the logarithm, we're going to divide by the number after the log. So we're going to divide by 32 is equal to 0. Remember what I was saying? When you just have log like this, there's an invisible base 10 that you cannot see. that property will be very important very soon. So log of 2x to the power 4 you divide by 32 is equal to 0. You are going to have okay, I'm just trying to clean up there. You're going to have 2x to the power 4 divided by 32. So 2x to the power 4 divided by 32 is equal to 10 to the power 10 at the power 0. So 10, we get the base, then we set to the power 0 because it's the power that is on the right side of the equation. So the base is the power of whatever is at the right side of the equal sign. Okay. So let's go this side. We are going to say 2x to the power 4 divided by 32 is equal to 10 to the power 0. Any number to the power 0 is a 1, so we divide by a 1. And then here we can also simplify. 2 can go into itself. 1 into 32 is a 16. So x to the power 4 is equal to a 16. To continue, we apply the fourth root to both sides. So x to the power 4 is equal to 16. We plus or minus the fourth root. Whenever you are applying an even root, you always say plus or minus. So the power 4 will cancel out with the fourth root. Then it's going to give you x is equal to plus or minus. Fourth root of 16 is which number should multiply itself 4 times to give you 16? It's a 2. Now we'll say therefore x is equal to a, first of all, let's write a statement. X is equal to negative 2 is invalid. Therefore, x is equal to a 2. Why have I said this? Before I even try to prove negative 2, look at the logarithm. You can just see already here they're saying log of negative 2. If you were to write that down, this will give you a math error in your calculator. So you don't even need to prove it. Just know that it will give you a math error. And any negative answer for logarithms, if you are to substitute it, it will give you a math error because you cannot take the logarithm of a negative number. Okay, so to continue, we got the next question, which is remainder and factor theorem. It's carrying 3 marks. Question 4a. Find the value of q given that the expression 2x to the power 4 plus 3x to the power 3 minus 4x to the power 2 plus 8x minus q leaves a remainder of negative 1 when divided by x minus 1. Our first step is we are going to say f of x is equal to the expression that we were taught in the question. So it's 2x to the power 4 plus 3x to the power 3 minus 4x squared plus 8x, and then minus q. And then they said leave the remainder and divided by x minus 1. So we're going to say we're going to equate 8 minus 1, x minus 1 to 0, and then our x is going to be equal to a 1. So whatever they have given you here, always equate it to 0. Simple as that. Don't even start overthinking. After equating it to 0, you say when f of this that you found here. So instead of saying f of x, you say f of 1 when f of 1 is equal to 1, because they say it negative 1, not just 1, because they're saying it leaves a remainder of negative 1 when it is divided by x minus 1, but we have said it is the same as saying x is equal to 1. So we're going to have a 2x to the power 4 plus a 3x to the power 3. So 2 multiplied by 1 to the power 4 plus a 3 multiplied by 1 to the power 3, then minus 4x squared, minus 4 multiplied by 1 to the power 2 plus 8 multiplied by 1 minus q is equal to a positive 1. You're going to have a 2 plus a 3 minus 4 plus 8 minus q is equal to a negative 1. Then if you simplify nicely, 2 plus 2 plus 3 is a 5. 5 minus 4 is a positive 1. Positive 1 plus 8 is a 9. So you're going to have a 9. Then this one will go this side of the equation. So 9 plus 1. This q will go that side of the equation. 9 plus 1 is equal to q. Therefore, q is equal to 10. And that's your 3 marks that easily. Sorry, not even 3 marks, right? This is carrying 4 marks. That's, oh, okay, no, it's 3 marks. That's your 3 marks that easily. This one says factorize the expression 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 11x plus 6. This is carrying 4 marks. So what we do is start finding numbers that can go, numbers that you can substitute, okay, as x in this expression. Numbers that you can substitute for x in this expression, and then they'll give you an overall value of 0. So if you try negative 1, it's not going to give you 0. Positive 1 is not going to give you 0. Positive 2 is going to give you what? So 2 multiplied by a 2 cubed minus 3 multiplied by a 2 squared minus 11 multiplied by a 2 plus 6 is going to give you a negative 12. Then 2 multiplied by a negative 2 cubed minus 3 multiplied by a negative 2 squared minus 11 multiplied by a negative 2 plus a 6 is going to give you, sorry, let me just type it again. I made a mistake when I was typing. Minus 3 multiplied by a negative 2 squared minus 11 multiplied by a negative 2 plus 6. So if you type that nicely into your calculator, it's going to give you a 0. So we are saying x is equal to negative 2. And then if you write it as a factor, it's the same as saying x plus a 2. So you can use synthetic division, or you can use polynomial long division. Okay, for this video, I'll use polynomial long division. How do you set it up? You're going to say x plus 2, like that. I know people must be saying, I don't want long division, but it's not hard. If you just pay attention, you'll see that it's not hard. So 2x cubed, okay, minus 3x squared, okay, minus 11x plus 6. So what we are going to do here is polynomial long division. How do we do polynomial long division? We just think about the x. So we are going to say x into 2x cubed. You are going to remain with what? 2x squared, and you write it on top of the corresponding x squared value. As you can see, these are in line, right? So this is in line. That's what I mean. And then after you find your 2x squared, you're going to say 2x squared multiplied by the x. So you're going to say this multiplied by that. Again, this multiplied by a positive 2. I hope it's making sense so far. People hate this method because they presume it is hard. So you are going to have 2x to the power 3, then 2x cubed multiplied by 2x squared multiplied by 2, you're going to have plus 4x squared. Then we're going to put this in brackets, then we say minus 2x cubed minus 2x cubed, you're going to have 0. Then 3x squared minus 4x squared, you're going to have negative 7x squared. Then when you find the negative 7x squared, just drop this negative 11x. Okay, so when we drop that negative 11x, someone may be confused. Why are we dropping it down? We are dropping it down simply because it's just going to be it's just going to help us in the next step. So now we are going to just do the same thing. We get the x, we're going to say x into what we formed. So we formed negative 7x squared. We didn't form negative 11x. For now, forget about negative 11x. Think about negative 7x squared. So x into negative 7x squared, you are going to have a negative 7x. That's so, negative 7x. The negative 7x multiplied by an x, you're going to have a negative 7x squared, like that. So negative 7x squared. And then negative 7x, like that, multiplied by positive 2, you are going to have a negative 14x. Then at this stage, you say minus. Always put it in brackets so I don't get confused of what's happening to the signs. That's what I just encourage people to do. It's going to become negative 7x squared minus negative 7x squared, which is the same as negative 7x squared plus 7x squared, giving you 0. And then you have negative 11x minus 14x, which is negative 11x plus 14x, giving you a positive what? Positive 3x. So positive 3x, like that. Then you do the same thing. You drop the 6. The 6 is just adding value. So you're going to say plus 6. Then the 2 can, then you start thinking of the x. Sorry, this x here. X into positive 3x, you're just going to remain with a 3. Then you're going to say a 3 times x is going to give you 3x. Then a 3 times 2, you're going to have positive 6. Then if you subtract here, you're going to have a 0. So long division, you should remain with 0. Okay, it means you have done your long division well. So that's how your polynomial long division would look like. And then what we have done is we have actually formed a quadratic equation here, which can be solved. So 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. (2x squared minus 7x plus 3 is equal to 0). We solve this by factorization, which two numbers when you multiply give you positive 6, when you add they give you negative 7. It is simply a 2x squared minus 6x minus x plus 3 is equal to 0. So you are going to have, you factor by grouping here. So 2x x minus 3, you factor out a negative 1, x minus 3 is equal to 0. So it's going to become x minus 3 multiplied by 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. So think about your first factor, which was x plus 2 multiplied by x minus 3 multiplied by 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. So we have three factors, but this is not how we conclude. We say therefore the factors are x plus 2, x minus 3 and 2x minus 1. So you have factorized the expression, and upon you just doing what I've done here, you get 4 marks. Then there's question 5, permutations and combinations. Question 5a reads, a political meeting is to be held with 4 members from party A, 7 members from party B, and 6 members from party C. In how many ways can they be seated in a row if there are no restrictions? So our aim here is to find, because they have said there are no restrictions, we just get the total number of members. So total is equal to, from party A we have 4, from party B we have 7, from party C we have 5, total is equal to 16. So we are going to answer it by saying 16 factorial, which is equal to, type that into your calculator, 16, then you click the shift, so you shift something looking like this on your calculator. It's going to give you something that looks like an exclamation mark. In mathematics, it's called factorial. 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 $16 factorial on your calculator will give you 2.09 times 10 to the power 13 ways. So if there are no restrictions, there are many ways in which they can be arranged. My calculator cannot write all the digits, so it's saying multiply by 10 to the power 13, which is just okay. So just make sure that here there are 3 significant figures. Goodness me, what have I done? So 2.09 multiplied by 10 to the power 13 ways. And then to continue, members of the same party have to sit together. What does it mean? Members of party A, they'll form a block. Members of party B, they'll form a block. Members of party C, they'll form a block. So this is party A, this is party B, this is party C, and then party A has 4 members, right? Party B has 7 members. Party B has 7 members. Party C has 5 members. Right? So after you do something like that, so if they have to sit together, this is how they would look. They would form blocks. And how can you arrange these 3 blocks? So for example, if you have 3 stones, a red stone, a green stone, a blue stone. So that's what I'm trying to say. How many times can you arrange them in a straight line? Okay? Where the order matters. So in this case, if you look at it, if this is a straight line, the first in the line is the red one, then the second one is the green one, then the third one is the blue one. So here the order matters. In mathematics, what we can do is we can write 3 factorial. So 3 blocks can be arranged in 3 factorial ways. You multiply by within the same blocks, within this block, within that block, and within that block, okay, they can actually interchange. So it's going to be 3 factorial multiplied by 4 factorial multiplied by 7 factorial multiplied by 5 factorial. This is going to give you what? 3 factorial multiplied by 4 factorial multiplied by 7 factorial multiplied by 5 factorial. This is going to give you 87,091,200 ways. So that would be your final answer for the second question, which was carrying 3 marks. Then this one is also carrying 3 marks. A team of 9 members comprising of enumerators and supervisors is to be chosen to carry out a census. If 10 enumerators, so let's start writing down the information. So 10 enumerators and 5 supervisors are available. Find the number of ways of choosing a team if it should comprise of 6 enumerators and 3 supervisors. So there are 10 enumerators, but we only want 6. There are 5 supervisors, but we only want 3. So that when we add the 6 plus 3, it should give us this total for the team of 9. So what do? So what you do is that it can be arranged in, there are 10 enumerators. From 10 you're going to choose 6. Then you're going to say and. From 5 you choose 3. So it's going to become 10, you choose 6, and means multiplication 5, you choose 3. So 10 combination. So combination on your calculator is that part that is NPR. If you press it, just press it, you're going to see capital letter C. This means combination is equal to 10 combination 6, 210 multiplied by 5 combination 3, which is a 10. And then if you simplify, you're going to have 2,100 ways. Total number of what? Ways in which you can choose a team if it should comprise of 6 enumerators and 5 supervisors. Then you have your question 6 there, which is saying solve the equation 1/3 cos theta plus 30 degrees is equal to half sine theta for values of theta in the range 0 degrees is less than or equal to theta, and theta is less than or equal to 360 degrees. To continue, you write the equation in your own ink. So it will be 1/3 cosine theta plus 30 degrees is equal to 1/2 sine theta. So remember, in grade 10 you learned about special angles. Then somewhere in grade 11 you're going to learn about the expansion of cosine and the expansion of sine, also the expansion of tan of theta. Okay, so this, we're going to use the expansion of cosine here, but I said in grade 10 you learned about special angles. Those special angles are going to be applied here. So we are going to say 1/3 multiplied by, if you expand this, it's going to be cos theta cos 30 degrees, and then when you're expanding, the sign here changes to a minus, so minus sine theta sine 30 degrees. Then you're going to say is equal to 1 over 2 sine theta. Then to continue, we're going to say 1 over 3 cos 30 degrees is a special angle which has an approximate value of square root of 3 over 2. So an exact value of square root of 3 over 2. So type cos 30 into your calculator, then type square root of 3 over 2 into your calculator. You'll see that it's giving the same answer. Square root of 3 over 2 cos theta minus sine 30 degrees is 1 over 2 sine theta. Like that is equal to half sine theta. To continue, we distribute the 1 over 3 in the brackets, so it's going to become square root of 3 over 6 cos theta minus 1 over 6 sine theta is equal to 1. Okay, the equal to sign is not looking very good. Is equal to 1 over 2 sine theta. At this point, we're going to multiply it throughout by a 6. Square root of 3 cos theta minus sine theta is equal to 2 can go into 6 3 times, so it's going to be equal to 3 sine theta. Then at this stage we're going to group the like terms together, so we're going to have square root of 3 cos theta is equal to 3 sine theta plus sine theta. Square root of 3 cos theta is equal to 4 sine theta. We divide by 4. 4 can go into itself 1, 4 can go into itself 1. Sine theta is equal to we're going to say square root of 3 over 4 cos theta. So I want to write it in like this so that now you can see what I'm going to do. You divide both sides by cos theta. You divide this side by cos theta. What you're going to have is here cos theta and cos theta will cancel out, giving you 1. Cos theta can go into itself 1 into cos theta, it's 1. Then here it's going to give you tan theta. So tan theta is equal to square root of 3 over 4. That's what we have remained with. So we're saying tan theta is equal to square root of 3 over 4. Theta is equal to tan inverse of square root of 3 over 4. So theta is equal to, make sure your calculator is in degrees, tan inverse of square root of 3 over 4. Square root of 3 over 4. 23.4 is the associate acute angle, 23.4 degrees. And then we are going to go in the third quadrant. Our theta is going to be equal to 180 degrees plus 23.4 degrees. Theta is going to be equal to 203.4 degrees. Then we're going to conclude and say, therefore theta is equal to 23.4 degrees, comma 203.4 degrees. That's our final answer. Now we're going to go to question 6. B. 1. Which says express 6 sine theta plus 8 cos theta in the form r sine theta plus alpha, where r is greater than 0 and 0 degrees is less than theta, which is less than 90 degrees, carrying only 3 marks because of how simple it is. We are going to say is equal to r sine theta plus alpha is equal to, so here we need to know the expansion for sine. Remember, here there's a plus sign for sine theta, or for sine. You should know that for sine, the sign here, which is the plus or the minus, for this sign, it does not change when you're expanding this sign. I hope you're understanding. Too many signs, that's why I wanted to underline. Okay. Let me just write it again. So we're saying r sine theta plus alpha. If we expand it to become r multiplied by a sine theta cos alpha plus cos theta sine alpha, which is equal to, we distribute the r to become r sine theta cos alpha plus r cos theta sine alpha. Then to continue, we are going to say r sine, okay, not like that, r sine theta cos alpha is equal to what they gave us in the question, is equal to this part having sine. So it's equal to 6 sine theta. And then we are going to say r cos theta, so this one here, r cos theta sine alpha is equal to what? The 8 cos theta right there. Eight cos theta. If you divide by sine theta this side, then divide by sine theta this side, sine theta can go into itself 1 into sine theta is also a 1, can go into itself 1 into sine theta, it's also a 1. So we're going to have r cos alpha is equal to 6. R cos alpha is equal to 6. Then this side you're going to divide by a cos theta. Then when this side divide by cos theta can go into itself 1 into cos theta, it's a 1. Then cos theta can go into itself a 1 into cos theta, it's a 1, 2. So you are saying r sine alpha is equal to 8. R sine alpha is equal to 8. After finding our r cos alpha and r sine alpha, we are going to add them. So we are going to say r sine alpha plus r cos alpha is equal to 8 plus 6. When we reach this stage, please do not simplify the right hand side, which is 8 plus 6. Then you write 14. Don't. That is being too fast. You need to be calm. I've not reached that stage yet. You're going to find the wrong answer. So after we write it in this form, we are going to square each term. So r sine alpha squared plus r cos alpha squared is equal to 8 squared plus 6 squared. It's going to become r squared sine alpha squared, that's how you write sine alpha squared, plus r squared cos alpha squared is equal to a 64 plus a 36. Then what we are going to do is what? We can now simplify this side of the equation after squaring. But before squaring, don't. So we are going to factor out the r squared. We're going to remain with sine alpha squared plus cos alpha squared is equal to 100. Sine alpha squared plus cos alpha squared, this is the trigonometric identity, and the value of this is a 1. R squared is equal to 100. We apply the square root to both sides. So we're going to say r is equal to 10. Someone might be wondering, why are we not saying plus or minus? Simply because I said r is greater than 0. So we know that our r is equal to 10 there. So now we need to find the value of alpha. So this is the working that we have done. So we are just going to clean up this this part because of space shortages. We're going to clean up. So I'm going to say r sine alpha, which is equal to 8 divided by r cos alpha over 6, like that. Then since we know the value of r, we can just say r into itself is the 1, r into r is a 1. And then we say we can simplify this. 2 can go into 8 4 times, 2 can go into 6 3. Now when you're dividing sine alpha by cos alpha or sine theta by cos theta, that is an identity. It will give you tan alpha is equal to 4 over 3. Then we're going to say alpha is equal to tan inverse of 4 over 3, comma, alpha is equal to, what is tan inverse of 4 over 3 on your calculator? It's a 53.1 degrees. You always correct all angles that you find to 1 decimal place. You are going to say therefore r sine theta plus alpha is equal to 10. That's what you found for your r. Then you're going to say sine theta plus, you know the value of r, I mean alpha. Alpha is 53.1 degrees, like that. So that's how you conclude. But remember, this question was carrying 3 marks, and then they said hence find the maximum value of r sine theta plus alpha. So for the second one, the answer would simply be maximum. All right, is that how you write maximum? Maximum the handwriting is looking very bad, eh? Maximum value is equal to the value of r, which is just 10. Done. Then we go to question 7, carrying 5 marks. An arithmetic progression has 241 terms and a common difference of 0.1. Given that the sum of all the terms is 964, find the sum of the first term and the sum of the first 41 terms. So we go to the sum formula, which is n multiplied by n over 2 multiplied by 2a plus n minus 1. D is equal to the sum. And then we have been told that there are 241 terms. Divided by 2 multiplied by a 2a plus 241 minus a 1 multiplied by a d, which was, if you read in the question, it was a 0.1, is equal to a what? A 964. Right? Yes. So going to have a 241 divided by 2 multiplied by a 2a, then 241 minus 1 is 240. 240 multiplied by 0.1, it's the same as saying 240 multiplied by 1 over 10. So you are going to just cancel out the zeros and remain with a what? A 24. So 2a plus 24 is equal to a 964. Then you are going to have 241a, and then 2 can go into 24, 12. 241 multiplied by 12 is a plus 2892, which is equal to a 964. Just like that. Then we just continue. 241a is equal to 964 minus 2892. 241a is equal to, if you type that into your calculator, 964 minus 2892, you're going to have a negative 1928, and divide by 241, divide by 241 to continue. 241 can go into itself 1, into 241 it's a 1, into itself 1, into that number you're going to have a what? An 8. So a is equal to negative 8. So I found the value of a. The question was saying find the first term and the sum of the first 41 terms. So now you know that your first term is negative 8. Hence you can clean up and find the sum of the first 41 terms. Okay, so that is the formula. So we are going to say sum of the first 41 terms is equal to 41 divided by 2 multiplied by a 2 multiplied by a, which is a negative 8, plus n, which is a 41, minus 1, and then d is a 0.1, like that, is equal to a 41 over 2. Then you're going to say multiplied by a negative 16, then a 40 multiplied by 0.1, you're just going to remain with a positive 4. Simple as that. Is equal to a 41 over 2 multiplied by a negative 12 is equal to a 41, negative 41 for that matter, multiplied by positive 6. So 41 times 6. So the sum of the first 41 terms is equal to negative 246. What have I done? Okay, so I've cleared that out. So it was a negative 41 times 6. So sum of the first 41 terms is equal to negative 246. And then we're going to conclude. We clean up there. Therefore, a is equal to negative 8. Then the sum of the first 41 terms is equal to negative 246 as your final answer. So a is equal to negative 8. Then sum of the first 41 terms is equal to a 246. A negative 246. So you have got your 5 marks that easily. Then you have your B, which says a new geometric progression is formed by squaring each of the terms of the progression with the first term 6 and the sum to infinity of 18. Find the sum to infinity of the new geometric progression. This question was carrying 4 marks, as you can see there. So we are saying sum to infinity formula is a you divide by 1 minus r is equal to sum to infinity. And then for this geometric progression, they are saying a is 6, then divide by 1 minus r is equal to sum to infinity is 18. Not any ordinary 18, but a negative 18. Let me write the negative 18 properly. You can check. Okay, not negative 18. What am I saying? Is equal to 18. What am I trying to do here? I'm trying to find the value of r for this first geometric progression, not the new one, but for the first one. So we are cross multiplying. Then it's going to become 18 multiplied by 1 minus r is equal to 6. 18 minus 18r is equal to 6. 18 minus 6 is equal to 18r. 18 minus 6 is 12 is equal to 18r. We divide by 18, we divide by 18. 18 can go into itself. 1 into 18, it's a 1. Which number can go into 12 and 18? 6 can go into 12 twice. 6 can go into 18 3. For the first geometric progression, r is equal to 2 over 3. And our a is equal to a positive 6. So to find our second term, it's going to be 6 multiplied by the common ratio, which is a 2 over 3. They're going to say 3 can go into itself. 1 into 6, it is twice. So 2 times 2 is a 4. So your second term is a 4. The second term is a 4. So for your first term, your a is a 6. Your second term is a 4. Now, follow me nicely here. Here, we are concentrating on the new geometric progression. For the new geometric progression, our a is going to be equal to 6 squared, because it's formed by squaring the terms of the old geometric progression. So it's going to give us 36. Then our second term is equal to a what? A 4 squared, which is going to give us a what? A 16. Then if we know how to find our r is equal to term 2 you divide by term 1, which is a 16 you divide by a 36. 4 can go into 16 a 4. 4 can go into 36 a 9, because a 9 times 4 is a 36. r is equal to 4 over 9. And then a is equal to 36. So we have everything we need to find the sum to infinity for the second geometric progression. Sum to infinity is equal to 36 divided by 1 minus 4 over 9. So it's going to be equal to 36 divided by 9 over 9 minus 4 over 9. 36 to divide by here it was minus a 4 over 9. So here it was supposed to be minus 4. Take note, I already did the mathematics in my head, that's why I put 5 over 9. So 9 over 9 minus 4 over 9, you're going to have a 5 over 9. Then to simplify the complex fraction, you are going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 36, multiplied by the reciprocal, which is the 9 over 5. 36, type that into your calculator. 36 times the 9 over 5 you are going to have a 64 remainder 4 over 5. Therefore, the sum to infinity is equal to a 64 remainder 4 over 5, like that. So this is the sum to infinity, and that is how you get your what? Your 4 marks. Question 8, statistics. Question 8 is statistics. Very good. The average weekly profits of the first 6 weeks of the year. Okay. For shop A and B are shown in the table. Then they are saying calculate them A, which is carrying 2 marks, calculate the mean for each shop, calculate the standard deviation for each shop. Which shop would you invest in and why? So to answer question C, the shop which you would invest in, it is the one with the smaller standard deviation. It means that this shop has a higher likelihood of making profits. Okay? Because the profits do not deviate that much. Okay, so let us find standard deviation. We are going to use the table method. You can use whichever method you're comfortable with, but for this video we're going to use the table method. In another video we're going to use the other method, but in this video, table method. And we're going to start with shop A. Shop A. Then we draw about 7 columns. So I'm going to zoom in a lot because of what is involved. So okay, not like that, so like this. Let me start from somewhere there. Then this will be the x here you're going to put what? The x values. Here you're going to put the frequency. Here it's going to become f times x. Okay. The next column is f times x, which will be a bit bigger. And then the next one is the mean, which is a bit bigger. Deviation from the mean, which has to be bigger, maybe somewhere there. And then deviation from the mean squared, then f multiplied by deviation from the mean squared. Okay, so it means x, here I'm going to put f, here f times x, here x bar, which is the mean, then here deviation from the mean for x, and then you are going to have another one here representing here deviation from the mean, which has to be squared, then f multiplied by the deviation from the mean, which has to be squared. We can extend these, oh my goodness, not like that. We can extend these lines. Up to somewhere here. I think if you draw the columns all the way up to there, it would be enough. So for your X, you're going to have shop A, week 1, 320, so 32, 48, 75. 32, 48, 75. 320, 480, 750. And then you're going to have 25, 80, 62. 25, 80, 62, which is your 320, 480, 750, 250, 800, 620. Then when we reach at the 620 mark, we can draw a line going straight like that. This line continues until it reaches there. For the frequencies, we're going to just write in week 1, how many 320s are in week 1? There's only one. In week 2, how many 480s are in week 2? There's only one. In week 3, how many 750s are in week 3? There's only one. So just keep on writing 1. I think you have seen the pattern. And then if you add all these ones, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're going to say summation of f is equal to 6. Then summation of fx is equal to something. You'll find your fx. So fx will simply be writing the x's again because they're being multiplied by 1. 320, 480, 750, 250, 250, 800, 620. So it's going to be 620 plus 800 plus 250 plus 750 plus 480 plus 320. So 480 plus 320, right? So 320, 480, 750, 250, 800, 620. 2,220. Okay, let me just write it properly. Here it's 800, and then here it's 620. Then it's going to give us 3,220. Okay, at least we are able to write that value. Then we can now close. So that's where the table will end. Then that answer you divide by the 6. You're going to have 536.6. I'm going to say 536.7. It's 0.666667. So 536.7. 536.7, 536.7, 536.7, 536.7, 536.7, 536.7, and then you're going to say 320 minus 536.7. 320 minus 536.7. It's going to be negative 216.7. Negative 216.7. Then you square it. You are going to have 46,000. 900 and what? So let me write it a bit smaller. So 46,958.89. So 46,958.89. 958.89, so 0.89, and then it's going to be 480 minus 536.7 minus 56.7. Then you square it. You're going to have 3,214.89, 3,214.89, and then here's 7. Then here I'm going to have a 750 minus 536.7. It's going to give you a positive 213.3. So 213.3, and then you square it. You're going to have 45,496.89. Then if you write that again, you're going to have 45,496.89. And then you're going to say 250 minus 536.7. You're going to have a negative 286.7. Negative 286.7. You square it, you're going to have a very big number. 82,196.89. 82,196.89. Then 800 minus 536.7. You're going to have a 263.3. You square it. You are going to have a 69,326.89. So 69,326.89. Then you're going to say 620 minus 536.89, 536.7, sorry. 83.3 is your answer. You square it. You're going to have a what? 6,938.89. 6,938.89. And then the final thing to write in this column would be summation of f x minus x bar, which has to be squared, is equal to the final answer we'll find when we add all the values here. So this is how the table method is looking. So thus far, this is how it's looking. So I'm going to add 46,958.89 plus 3,214.89 plus 45,496.89 plus 82,196.89 plus 69,326.89 326.89 plus 6,938.89. 6,938.89 plus 69,326.89 plus 82,126.89. I put 86 by mistake here. Okay. 8989. Okay. So it's 2,196.89. Then we have 45,496.89. Then we have 3,214.89. And then we have 46,958.89. You are going to have a what? This is a big number, so we would need all the space we have. 254,133.34. So 254,133.34. So that would be it for your shop A. So that is only the working for shop A only. I hope you are following. So that is the working for shop A only. Now we are going to shop B. So that is the working for shop A only. Now we are going to shop B. We'll go down here and we'll say shop B. Shop B. You might be surprised by how lengthy this method is, but I tell you, the table method and the other method, both methods are lengthy. So there's no magic method which you can answer in 2 minutes. But in an exam, you definitely answer it quickly, but not in 2 minutes. So I'm going to write 7 columns very fast. Like that. And then it's going to go down like that. So that's your X value there. Then you have your Fx, your X bar, your X minus X bar, X minus X bar squared, and then you have your what? You have your f of x minus x bar squared. So to label them, this would be your x, f, fx, x bar, x minus x bar, x minus x bar, which has to be squared. Then your f of x minus x bar, which has to be squared. Then this other part we can just clean. Okay, let us return it. I didn't clean up properly, so we can just clean like that. Your x values are what? Your x values for shop B are 38, 50, 68. So your x values are 38, 60, 58, of course 380, 600, 580. Then your three more values are what? They are 52, 74, 48. So 52, 74, 48. $74. So, and then you have your 48. So you have your 520, your 740, and then your 480. And then we'll continue like that. Yeah, so that will be the lowest point this table is going to go. And then this is your line. Then your values of f for how many 380s in week 1, there is 1. How many 600s in week 1, there is 1. So we just repeat the pattern like that until there are 6 ones. Then if you add all the ones together, you are going to have summation of f being equal to 6. Then here summation of fx being equal to a certain number. So it's going to be 380, 600, 580, 520, 740, and 480. Just to confirm, let me just see if the numbers are correct. 380, 500, 680, 520, 740, and 480. Okay. Then we add them together. You are going to say 380 plus 600 plus 580 plus 520 plus 740 plus 480. So 480, 740, 520, 580, 600, and 380. You are going to have a 3,300. 3,300. If you said 3,300 divided by 6, it's going to give you a flat number, 550. So you're going to have a 550, you're going to have a 550, you're going to have a 550 as your mean. Then you're going to have a 550, you're going to have a 550, you're going to have a 550. Deviation from the mean, you're going to say 380 minus 550, which is going to give you what? A negative 170. You square the answer you find, it's going to give you 28,000. So it's going to give you 28,900, and then you just repeat that. And then the next one is going to be 600 minus 550. You're going to have a positive 50. you square it, you're going to have 2,500. Even here, you're going to have 2,500. Then a 580 minus 550, you are going to have a 30. Then you square the answer, you're going to have a 900. Then you repeat the 900 here. Then you're going to say 520 minus 550. You are going to have a negative 30. Okay. Negative 30. You square the answer, you are still going to have a positive 900, and even here a 900. And then here we have 740. 740 minus 550, you're going to have a positive 190. You square the answer, you are going to have 36,100. 36,100. 36,100. And then down you're going to have of 480 minus 550 to negative 70. You square the answer, you're going to have a 4,900. This side you're going to write 4,900. To conclude, you're going to say summation of f x minus x bar, which has to be squared, is equal to a certain number that we're going to find. So this is 28,900 plus 2,500 plus 900 plus 900 plus 36,100 plus 4,900. So 4,900, 36,100 plus 900 plus 900 plus 2,500 plus 28,900. Your final answer is going to be 24,200. Then we can now proceed. As you can see, we are done with this table for shop B. We are done with this table for shop A. We can go to question A. Let's find the mean for each shop. For question A, the mean is the same as x bar. So first of all, let me say shop A. X bar is equal to summation of f times x divided by summation of f. So it's going to be equal to summation of f of x is 3,220 divided by 6, which is going to give you x bar as what? As a 536.7. That's what we found. I didn't round it off to 3 significant figures because I just wanted a more accurate answer. I was supposed to write the answers for both shop A and shop B here. Maybe let me try to squeeze it here. We'll say shop B, x is equal to summation of f of x divided by summation of f. So it's going to be 3,300 divided by 6. 3,300 divided by 6, which is equal to 550. So this is your mean for shop B. Maybe you might be confused. Where am I even getting these values from? I'm just getting them from the table. If you can check shop A, it's right there. And then if you can see shop B, the values are right there. So we have answered question A. Question B, calculate the standard deviation for each shop. I'm going to calculate it under table B. Okay. I'm going to say question B. Shop A. Standard deviation, which is SD, is equal to the square root of the summation of f of x, summation of f times x minus x bar, which has to be squared, divided by summation of f, like that, which is equal to the square root of, for shop A, we found 254,133, okay, 254,133.34. Summation of f was a 6, right? Let's confirm. 0.34, summation of f was a 6. So it's going to be equal to the square root of what? 254,133.34, like that. You divide by a 6. You're going to have a what? You're going to have a 42,355.55667. Then it's going to be the square root of that answer, 205.804666. Standard deviation, which is our SD, is equal to 206. Correct to what? 3 significant figures. So 206 is the standard deviation for shop A. Shop B has its own solutions, which is standard deviation is equal to the square root of summation of f times x minus x bar, which has to be squared, like that. Then we divide by summation of f, like that, which is equal to the square root of what? 74,200. We divide by a 6. Which is equal to the square root of what? 74,200. Divide by a 6 is going to give you 12,366 point, you write 66667, square root of that number, which is equal to the square root of that number, 111.2055155. Standard deviation is equal to a 111 if you correct to 3 significant figures. So for shop A, it is a 206. Shop B, it's a 111. Then they wanted the answer to question C. I'll answer question C here. The question reads, look at it. Which shop would you invest in and why? The one that has the smaller standard deviation is the one that you would invest in. So shop B. Shop B. Then you would say this is because there what? There is a higher chance of having profits. That's it. There's a higher chance of having profits. And then we are done. Now we're going to the questions. I call these the questions because these are the questions that people fail. The diagram below shows part of the curves y squared is equal to 4x and y is equal to 1 over 4x squared meeting at the point A. This is question 9. The one has to find the coordinates of A, that is question A, carrying 3 marks, then the volume obtained by rotating the shaded region through 306 degrees about the x-axis, and it's carrying 6 marks. In total, this question carries about 9 marks. So let's answer question A. It says the coordinates of A. So for question A, we'll write the equations. Y squared is equal to what? Y squared is equal to 4x. And then we also have y is equal to 1 over 4x squared. Y is equal to 1 over 4x squared. Like that. And then we want to know where these two curves are intersecting. What should we do? What we are going to say is, we'll say let y be equal to 1 over 4x squared. So this same one here, okay? And then if we say that, it means we are saying where there is y, we're going to put a 1 over 4x squared, like that. So in place of y in this equation, which has to be squared, is equal to what? 4x. Simple as that. Then to continue, 1 x squared to the power 2 is x to the power 4. Then 4 to the power 2, which is 4 squared, is a 16, is equal to 4x. To continue, we'll cross multiply. We are going to have x to the power 4 is equal to 16 times the 4 is a 64x. Then x to the power 4 minus 64x 64x. 64x is equal to 0. You factor out x, you're going to remain with x to the power 3 minus 64 is equal to 0. So we forget that, when we solve this equation, we are going to have this. X is equal to 0, or x cubed minus 64 is equal to 0. X cubed is equal to 64. Then we apply the cube root to both sides to get rid of the cubed there. The cubed and the cube root to cancel out. x is equal to cube root of 64 is a 4. 4 times 4 is a 16. 16 times 4 is a 64. So x is equal to a 4. And then we'll say let x be equal to 4 in y. So y is equal to a 1 over 4. If I remember well, 1 over 4x squared, yes. And then we have said our x is a 4, so 4 squared, which is equal to 1 over 4 multiplied by 4 squared is 16. 4 can go into itself. 1 into 16 is 4. Y is equal to a 4. Therefore, the coordinates of A are, coordinates of A are 4, 4. Those are the coordinates of A. So that would be the final answer for question A. Then question B. For question B, they want you to find the volume obtained by rotating the shaded region through 360 degrees about the x-axis. So what you have to do is you look at your shaded region, you identify which one is the top function. So if you look properly, the top function is this function here, then this function here is the bottom function. So this is your top function, this is your bottom function. Which means I'll say my y1. So first of all, you have your equation y squared is equal to 4x. We'll just apply the square root to both sides. So you're going to say y is equal to square root of 4x. Like that. So what I can say is, I think if you look properly, square root of 4x is your y, and that's your top function, and I'll name it my y1. So my y1 is equal to square root of 4x. My y2 is equal to what? The bottom function, which is a 1 over 4x squared. 1 over 4x squared. Then the formula for volume. Volume is equal to pi multiplied by the integral from a to b of y1 squared minus y2 squared, like that. And since it's we are rotating the shaded region along the x-axis, we're going to say dx. So it's going to be equal to pi multiplied by the integral. The integral is starting from 0, it's going to 4 of y2 squared. So our y1 squared, our y sub 1 is a 4x. So it's going to become square root of 4x squared minus our y1, which is a 1 over 4 squared. Again, it has to be squared. 1 over 4 squared is the same as saying x squared over 4, which has to be squared, like that, with respect to x, your x, not forgetting your pi. So it's going to say pi multiplied by the integral from 0 to 4. Okay? Why am I saying from 0 to 4? Someone may be confused. So the integral is starting from here, which is 0, to there, which is 4. Because we found our a coordinate as a what? as a 4. So when you are squaring a square root, it means the square root disappear, and then we're going to remain with what? We're going to remain with 4x minus x squared to the power 2 is going to become index of an index. 2 times 2 is a 4. You divide by 4 to the power 2 is a 16 dx. Now that we have remained with such, we can start integrating. We'll say is equal to pi multiplied by 4x to the power 2 divided by the new power minus minus x to the power 5, you divide by the new power, which is the same as multiplying by 5. No need to write the x. Now we are saying the integral from 0 to 4. It's going to be pi multiplied by, here if we simplify, it's going to become 2 can go into itself, 1 into 4, 2, multiplied by 2x squared minus x to the power 5. 16 times the 5 is 80 from 0 to 4. It's going to be equal to pi multiplied by, here we substitute a 4, 2 multiplied by a 4 squared minus 4 to the power 5, we divide by 80. Let me just confirm, 16 times the 5 is what? Yes, it is actually 80. Then you're going to say minus 2 multiplied by 0. So we're substituting the 0 now, minus 0 to the power 5 over 80. Like that. Which is equal to pi. Is there more answer space? Okay, answer space is done. Which is equal to pi. Okay. Pi multiplied by the integral there. 2, 4 squared is a 16. 4 to the power 5 is what? If you type that into a calculator, 4 to the power 5 is going to give you minus 1024 over 80. And then that side is going to give you minus 0. That's what we have remained with. So what do? We clean up now. I hope I haven't lost anybody here. This question is supposed to be a free 6 marks. If you're just patient, you're writing everything nicely, you're not messing up any signs, this question is just supposed to be a free 6 marks. Very nice question. So you're going to be left with 32 minus 1024 over 80. 32 minus 1024 over 8. So it's equal to pi multiplied by 32 minus 1024 over 80. What is 32 times 80? You are going to have is equal to pi multiplied by 2560 over 80 minus 1024 or 1024 over 80, which is equal to pi multiplied by, so this if you subtract 1024, you are going to have 1536. You divide by 80. If you divide by 80, you are going to have a 19. Sorry. It's going to be equal to a 19. Remainder 1 over 5 pi. Therefore, volume is equal to 19. Remainder 1 over 5 pi units cubed. this is your volume. Simple as that. So you have calculated your volume, and that's how you get your free 6 marks that easily. Then we go to acceleration and velocity. That's the name of the topic, which is question 10. So there's question 10, there's question 11 left, which is right here. Then there is question 12 right here. And there. Then we're about to be done. Question 10 is here. The velocity v meters per second of a particle moving in a straight line at time t seconds after passing a point x is given by 2v is equal to negative 8t plus 16. Then they want us to find the acceleration when t is equal to 0. So we are starting with A. We write the equation, which is 2v is equal to negative 8t plus 16. We divide throughout by 2. 2 can go into itself 1, into 2 it's a 1, 2 can go into itself 1, into 4 it's a into 8 it's a 4, 2 can go into itself 1, into 16 it's 8. So you are going to have v is equal to negative 40 plus 8. Then your acceleration is equal to your dv dt, which is equal to a negative 4. So here they are saying when time is equal to 0. You don't need to substitute anything. Just say therefore A is equal to negative 4, like that. You put your units, meters per second, or meters per second squared, whatever you would want to do. Then the distance from x after 3 seconds. Now, distance has brought many problems to people. This is why it carries 4 marks. Then they're saying distance from x when it comes to rest. Whenever you are asked distance, you need to find something called the distance when it's at a momentary halt or instantaneous rest. So momentary halt or instantaneous rest. How do we find the distance? And how do we find the time? So you want to find the time when it's at instantaneous rest. What do we do to do that? We'll say when v is equal to 0. That is the time when it is at instantaneous rest. So you have v in the question. V is equal to negative 4t plus 8. So negative 4t plus 8 is equal to 0. Then you're going to have negative 4t is equal to negative 8 divided by negative 4 divided by negative 4. And then you'll say negative 4 into itself 1 into negative 4 it's a 1, negative 4 into itself 1 into negative 8 it's a positive 2. So when time is equal to 2 seconds, at exactly 2 seconds, it's like a particle, for example, it starts from a fixed point here, then it starts moving. Okay, that's not visible, right? So it starts moving, then somewhere 2 seconds it halts. The particle will halt somewhere 2 seconds there. So right here it's going to halt. when a particle comes to instantaneous rest, okay, so remember this is our fixed point here, it will turn around and start moving in the opposite direction. So it will start moving in the opposite direction in a straight line, not what I've done. It will turn around and start going like that. So what am I trying to say? When a particle comes to a momentary halt or instantaneous rest, the distance after 2 seconds will be a negative answer. So if you were to integrate, you use normal integration, you would find a wrong answer because it would give you the absolute value. Because look at it, think of physics, displacement, right? If you started from this fixed point and then you find yourself back at this fixed point, you find yourself back at this fixed point here, okay? Overall displacement is equal to 0. That's according to your physics, but here we want distance. Distance will be when you get this, the value of this, you come and add to the absolute value of this. When if it's negative, you add the positive value, and that will be your total distance. Yeah, I know maybe that does not make sense, but I will explain by writing. Here, for question B, they wanted distance from X after 3 seconds. So to find our distance, we are going to say distance represented by S is equal to the integral from 1 to 2 of V dt. So it's going to be equal to the integral from 1 to 2 of V, which is a what? A negative 4 plus 8. Okay, I just need to confirm. Sorry, accidentally saved the document. So the integral of a negative 4t plus 8 dt. Here they said the distance from X after 3 seconds. So the integral from 1 to 2, sorry, not from 1, not, the time always starts from 0, right? Sorry for that. I'm so sorry. It's supposed to be the integral from 0 to 2. Okay. So is equal to negative 4 t the power 2 divided by 2 plus 8t from 0 to 2. And then if you simplify here, you're going to have 2 can go into itself, 1 into 4, it's a 2, is equal to negative 2 squared plus 8t from 0 to 2 is equal to negative 2 multiplied by t, which is a 2, plus 8 multiplied by 2, like that, then you minus 0. So a distance from 0 to 2 seconds will be equal to a negative 4 plus 8 times 2 is a 16. So S will be equal to a 12 meters. That's your S1. So your S1 is 12 meters. And then your S2 will be found like this. So this is your S1. S2 is equal to the integral from 2 to 3 seconds. Why am I saying from 2 to 3 seconds? At 2 seconds it comes at a momentary halt. So this distance that we are finding between 2 to 3 seconds is actually going to be negative. If you don't get a negative answer here, it means we have done something wrong. But if you get a negative answer showing that we are going in the opposite direction, is equal to negative 4t to the power 2 divided by 2 plus 8t, and then we are integrating from a 2 to a 3. 2 can go into itself, 1 into 4 is a 2, So it's going to be equal to negative 2t squared, and then you're going to say plus 8t from a 2 to a 3, which is equal to a negative 2 multiplied by 3 squared plus 8 multiplied by a 3, okay, like that, then minus here the value that we found. If we substitute a 2, we found minus 12. So minus, you don't need to put the brackets, oh my goodness. Okay, so it's equal to what? Is equal to a, we have in this bracket negative 2 multiplied by 3 squared plus 8 multiplied by 3 minus 12 is equal to a negative 2 multiplied by 3 squared is a 9 plus here 8 times a 3 is going to give us a 24 minus 12. So we're going to get negative 18 plus 24 minus 12. So our S, not our S2, so it's going to be equal to, if you punch that into your calculator, sorry, it's negative 18, okay, plus a 24 minus 12. Negative 18 plus 24 minus 12 is going to give you negative 6 meters. But we said the absolute value of this, so S2 is equal to 6 meters. S is going to be equal to S1 plus S2, which is equal to 6 plus 12, which is equal to what? 18 meters. So distance from X after 3 seconds in total is 3 meters. I hope that makes sense. And then for C, distance from X when it comes to rest. When it comes to rest, they're simply trying to say from 0 to 2. So from 0 to 2 is simply taking the integral from 0 to 2. So even here it's supposed to be 0, take note. It's supposed to be the number 0 there. Let me zoom in and write the proper 0. It's supposed to be 0 here. Okay. The next thing you can do is to clean up. So you're going to say S is equal to integral from 0 to 2 of negative 4t plus 8 dt, which is equal to negative 4t to the power 2 divided by 2 plus 8t from 0 to 2, which is equal to what? Here we're going to have a positive 2, so minus 2t squared plus 8t from 0 to 2. So we already did this working, but just to not gamble, just repeat what you already did. Okay, because it's a new question. Is equal to negative, okay, is equal to, you put the brackets, so you're going to say negative 2 multiplied by 2 squared plus 8 multiplied by 2, then minus 0 is equal to negative 2. 2 squared is a 4 plus 8 multiplied by 2. We'll continue cleaning up. Then we're going to say is equal to negative 8 plus a what? 8 times 2 is a 16. Let me see what we did here. here we said is equal to t was a 2 squared, so here we are supposed to have is equal to 8. So the distance is equal to 8 meters. That was the final answer. Here we found 12. So just take note that we did not find the correct answer here. It was supposed to be it was not supposed to be like this. Okay, I hope you are following. I just plugged in the wrong value. So it's supposed to be negative 2 times positive 4, negative 8 plus 16, which is equal to a positive 8 meters as your S1. So S1, which is going to be, in this case, your S1 is going to be, instead of writing what we wrote, let us clean up, is going to be equal to, your S1 is 8 plus 6, which is going to be equal to 14 meters as your second final answer. So there are 8 meters, there are 14 meters. I hope we're clear. Okay, it means when our second answer is not that correct, what can we do? Here, let me just clean up all the way up to here. We were saying minus 12, but we'll say minus 8. So let me zoom in. So writing what we did, we'll say minus 8. So we are going to say negative 18 plus 24 minus 8. It's going to give you a negative 2. It's equal to negative 2 meters. S2 is equal to 2 meters. And then S is going to be equal to S1 plus S2, which is equal to 2 plus 8, which is going to be equal to 10 meters. So the first answer, we have 10 meters. So this is your S here, 10 meters for question B. Okay, this is the answer for question B. Then question C, 8 meters. I hope that's clear. I've clarified that small mishap. Then we have the next question, which reads, the curve y is equal to x to the power 3 plus ax plus b, where a and b are constants, has a stationary point at negative 2, 3. Find the values of a and b. It's carrying 4 marks. So what we do is we will say y is equal to x cubed plus ax plus b. What are we going to do? We're going to say dy dx is equal to 3x squared plus a. And then they are saying at the point negative 2, 3. So I'm going to say when dy dx is equal to 0, when dy dx is equal to 0, x is equal to negative 2, I believe. Yes, negative 2, 3. So going to say 3 multiplied by negative 2 squared plus a is equal to 0. 3 multiplied by 4 plus a is equal to 0. 3 multiplied by 4 is a 12. A is equal to negative 12. We have y is equal to x cubed. Okay, we can already see that, right? So we can already see what we have written here. Then we're going to say when x is equal to negative 2, y is equal to 3. Three is equal to negative 2 cubed plus a multiplied by negative 2 plus b. We already know the value of a is a negative 12. So we write that again is going to be 3 multiplied by negative 2 cubed minus 12 multiplied by negative 2 plus b. Then 3 is equal to negative 2 cubed is negative 8. Then plus 24 plus b. It's going to be 8. It's going to be 3 plus 8 minus 24 is equal to b. 3 plus 8 minus 24 is a negative 13. B is equal to negative 13. Therefore, A is equal to a negative 12. B is equal to a negative 13. And that's your final answer. So if you try to substitute, you say negative 2 cubed minus 12 multiplied by negative 2 minus 13, you're going to have a positive 3 as your y coordinate. Then other stationary point and its nature. So now the curve is looking like y is equal to x cubed minus 12x, right? So x cubed minus 12x minus 13. So they want us to find the other stationary points and the nature. dy dx is going to be equal to 3x squared plus 2. When dy dx is equal to 0, 3x squared plus 2. Oh, what am I saying? Not plus 2. This is not the equation. Sorry for that. It's actually supposed to be x cubed minus 12x minus 13, which will become 3x squared minus 12. So 3x squared minus 12 is equal to 0. We divide throughout by 3. 3 can go into itself, 1 into 3, it's a 1. 3 can go into itself, 1 into 12, it's a 4. X squared minus 4 is equal to 0. Then x squared is equal to positive 4. We apply the square root to both sides, so plus or minus. X is equal to plus or minus 2. So for the negative 2, we already have. We'll say when x is equal to positive 2, y is going to be equal to 2 cubed minus 12 multiplied by 2 minus 13. 2 cubed is 8 minus 24 minus 13. Y is equal to what? 8 minus 24 minus 13 is going to give you negative 29. So the other stationary point is a what? Is a 2, negative 29. So it's a 2 negative 29. So, and its nature, to find the nature of a stationary point, we use what we call the dy dx test. So using the dy dx test, we are going to do this, and then we have 3 regions. So dy dx simply means we are going to use the gradient function, your dy dx. Here we have when your x is equal to a positive 2, your dy dx is flat, so that it gives you a straight line because it's a stationary point. Now we want values of x that are less than a positive 2. We have a positive 1. A positive 1 will be a 1 minus 12 minus 13 to negative 24. So it's giving us a negative answer like that. Then we try a positive 3. It's going to be 3 cubed minus 12 multiplied by a positive 3 minus 13, which is also giving us have I done this properly? Let me check. So this is our equation is what we found here. It's going to be x cubed minus 12x minus 13. Okay, and x cubed is a 1 minus 12 minus 13. We are going to have a negative 24, so representing that type of a slant. Then we have 3 cubed minus 12 multiplied by a 3, right? Because minus 12x minus 13. We're also going to have a negative like that. Okay, so the first stationary point was a negative 2. Alright, so we are supposed to substitute in our dy dx. So you need to remember your dy dx. Your dy dx is equal to what? It's a 3x squared minus 12. So if we substitute a positive 1 here, we are going to have 3 multiplied by, okay, it's going to look like this. 3 multiplied by 1 squared minus 12, which is a 3 minus 12 negative 9. So it's giving you a negative stand like that. Then if we substitute something like positive 3 instead, a number greater than 2, you're going to have 3 multiplied by 3 squared minus 12. Then 3 multiplied by 3 squared is a 9 minus 12. So already you know that that's a positive answer. So as you can see, using the dy dx test, which is where I use the gradient function, the curve would look something like this. Therefore, at 2, negative 29, it is a minimum stationary point. So they are saying it is a minimum, we are saying it is a minimum stationary point. Then this question was only carrying 2 marks, but ECZ made a mistake. for this question. It was actually supposed to be integration using the u substitution. But to integrate such a thing, actually, the only way we would do it is using an A-level method. So using the A-level method, it would look like this, is equal to the integral of 2 multiplied by x squared plus 5 the power negative 2. Of course, dx. How do we integrate this? We integrate normally. What do? We add a 1 to the power. Okay? So it's going to be equal to the... So since we're saying we add a 1 to the power, it's going to become 2 multiplied by x to the power 2 plus a 5, right? The power negative 1. Now, usually we say we divide by the new power, right? That's what we say. But now, what we're going to do is we are going to... So here what we are going to do, since we have remained with it, it is in this particular form, right? So we are going to... if you look at it, I haven't changed anything. I've just integrated. So I've added 1 to the power, it has become the power negative 1. You divide by the new power, that's what we say. And then you again multiply by the bracket differentiated. So it's the same as multiplying by a 1 over 2x. So bracket differentiated is a 2x. You are going to have something like this. As you can see, the 2 can cancel out there with the 2 up there, and then you're going to have a negative sign. Okay, the negative sign right here. Okay, so if you resume, I accidentally put 2 can go into 2x. Let me remove that. I meant to say 2 can go into itself a 1, 2 can go into 2 a 1. Okay, and then we are going to say is equal to a negative x squared plus a 5 the power negative 1. You do what? You multiply by 1 over x. So it's going to become a negative 1. So it's going to be over x squared plus a 5. You multiply by x. So it's going to be equal to a negative 1. You divide by x squared plus 5, like that, multiplied by x. So it's x times x squared plus 5. Let me write it like this, then plus c. This is how your answer was supposed to look. Now who would have done that? You see what I've done? So you do your normal integration and then you multiply by the bracket differentiated, 1 over the bracket differentiated, or you divide by the bracket. The derivative of the bracket is just 2x. That's what I did here. Then the 2's cancelled, then it remained something like that plus c. And this was carrying 2 marks. So this is A-level integration, what we have done there. Because of their mistake, we had to do A-level integration. So that was it. But I'm going to answer it again. If it was written in the normal form, it was supposed to be written like this for us to be able to even attempt it. Is equal to the integral of 2x, you divide by x squared plus a 5 the power 2 dx. you are going to say, so x squared plus a 5 to the power 2 dx, and then you're going to say let x squared plus a 5, okay, let me not say it like that, I might confuse you. Let u be equal to x squared plus a 5. And then to continue, you would have had your du dx is equal to 2x. Like the 2x on top there. After you find your du dx to be equal to 2x, you make the x subject of the formula. So it's going to be 2x dx is equal to du. So if you divide both sides by 2x, you divide by 2x, 2x can go into itself, 1 into 2x, it's a 1. Dx is equal to a du, you divide by 2x. That is your, instead of writing dx, you're going to write du, divide by 2x. So using the u substitution, you would say is equal to the integral of 2x. Okay? You divide by, instead of writing this here, okay, instead of writing x squared plus a 5, you're going to write, you divide by a u, the power 2. Instead of writing dx, you're going to write what you said. You said dx is equal to a du over 2x. So you multiply by a du over 2x. So, a du over 2x. So the 2x would have cancelled to give you 1. Then you would have remained with is equal to the integral of 1 over u squared du. Then it would have become is equal to the integral of u to the power negative u and u to the power negative 2 du. Then if you simplify, it would have been is equal to u to the power negative 1 over the new power, like that. It would have become negative 1 over u. Now, is this what we had in the beginning? No. So is equal to a negative 1 over x squared plus 5 plus c. This is how you would have done it if ECZ set it up in the right way. Not the answer that we found. That answer we found was not okay. That's an answer for A levels. Okay. So to continue, we have your question 12. So this is the last question. Now we are going to the last question, which says the curves y is equal to e to the 2x minus 3 and y is equal to e to the power x plus 1 intersect at the point B. Find the coordinates of B. And this is just carrying 2 marks because of how easy it is. So we're saying y is equal to e to the power 2x minus 3, and then y is equal to e to the x plus 1. So since we have both been equal to both are y, so we'll say e to the 2x minus 3 is equal to e to the x plus 1. Then when we reach this point, since the bases are the same, we can equate powers. 2x minus 3 is equal to x plus 1. What we do is we collect like terms. Therefore, it would become 2x minus x is equal to 1 plus 3. 2x minus x is simply x is equal to 1 plus 3 is a 4. So x is equal to a 4. Then we'll simply say so we are saying what? Let x be equal to 4 in y. So in any of the equations, if you substitute 4, you're going to get the same answer. Y is equal to e to the power 4 plus 1, right? For this one here. So y is equal to e to the power 5. Therefore, the coordinates of b are, therefore b will be 4 comma e to the power 5. Those are the coordinates of b. And then the next question is carrying 4 marks. They are saying the gradient of each curve in terms of e at b. So for the first curve, which is y is equal to e to the power 2x minus 3, e to the power 2x minus 3 dy dx of that will simply be the derivative, first of all, of e. If you remember very well, the derivative of e is e. The derivative of e is e itself. Okay? So what we say is the derivative here of the function on top here is what? Is 2 multiplied by e itself. That's our dy dx. And then they said at b, so when x is equal to 4, when x is equal to 4, gradient, which is m, is equal to 2e to the power 2 multiplied by 4 minus 3, right? Which is going to give you 2e to the power 8 minus 3 equal to 2e to the power 5. So your gradient for the first curve is 2e to the power 5. Your second curve is y is equal to e to the power x plus a1. Is it? Yes. Dy dx is equal to 1 times e to the power x plus 1, which is just e to the power x plus 1. And then we'll say when x is equal to a 4, m is equal to e to the power 4 plus 1, which is equal to e to the power 5. The gradient is equal to e to the power 5. So to conclude, you would say, therefore, when y is equal to e to the power 2x minus 3, m is equal to 2e to the power 5, comma, when y is equal to e to the power x plus 1, m is equal to e to the power 5. And that's your 4 marks that easily. Then you have your what? Your final question. So I've answered 12A1, 12A2. Now your final question. This is your last and final question. Question 12B. The equation of the curve of a curve is y is equal to e to the power half x. Determine the equation of a straight line which can be drawn on the curve. To find the solution of the equation, x is equal to 1 over 12 minus 1 over 3 e to the 1 over 2x. This was carrying 4 marks. So what do? here you don't even need to start overthinking. This is a free 4 marks. Y is equal to e to the power half x. That's our first equation. Y is equal to e to the power half x. Then we have x is equal to what? 1 over 12 minus 1 over 3 e to the power half x. So since we already have this here, this equation saying y is equal to e to the power half x, wherever we can see e to the power half x, we are going to put y. So I'm going to say x is equal to 1 over 12 minus 1 over 3 e to the power half x. I'm going to put times y. So have you seen already? We can even answer. So I'm saying x is equal to 1 over 12 minus y over 3. We multiply by the common denominator, which is 12, or the lowest common multiple of 12 and 3, which is just 12. Then we're going to have 12x is equal to a 1 minus 3 can go into 12 4, so 4y. We have a 4y. Okay, let me not start with 4y. We'll say 12x plus 4y minus 1 is equal to 0. That's it. That's your final answer. So 12x plus 4y minus 1 is equal to 0. They're saying to the straight line which must be drawn to obtain solutions. So this is the equation in the standard form, like that. That's your final answer. And we have successfully solved 2025 paper 2 internal. All that I can say is if you stayed until the end of this video, thank you so much for watching this video. This has been Cornelius Lubinda with another video. You can check through what we have been answering. This has been Cornelius Lubinda with another video, and bye bye.